Hello, and welcome to Cryptids and Myths, starring Steve and Zach, your podcast for all things cryptids, myths, and unexplained. This week, we're talking about the legendary Mothman.
Oh man, I think the Mothman's one of my favorite cryptids overall, like in my top 5. Just because what Mothman is, just a weird creature that appears and causes destruction, much like a crackhead in a subway bathroom.
I wouldn't say that he causes destruction. It's actually
he heralds it.
The herald of disaster.
Mm-hmm.
So because history of the Mothman, first spotted in 1966 is the first time he was ever reported. And it was 2 gravediggers in Clendenine, West Virginia. So they saw a black figure fly over their heads while digging a grave in a cemetery. They didn't know it then, but they are credited with being the first people to see the now infamous Mothman. Yeah, so it dates back to the 60s. So this is post-UFO craze of the 40s and 50s.
Yeah, that big flap.
Project Blue Book is starting to wind down, moving into another stage of it. And so you get something new. So legend has it that Mothman is a 10-foot black creature with wings and red eyes. Now, shortly after the cemetery incident, the residents of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, a few miles west of Clandestine, claimed they saw the monster while driving at night. Articles in newspapers at the time were reporting that the monster was commonly seen in the TNT area of town or a former military munitions dump.
Interesting.
Now, it's been theorized or postulated, hypothesized, thought of, guessed that it is a mutant from military dumping at the munitions plant. That's one of the thoughts.
What do you think it'd be like a mutant of?
It could be a mutant of a human, or it could be a mutant of an owl. I mean, because of its size, being something smaller wouldn't make sense.
Yeah,
but who knows? I mean, this is a 60-year-old, almost 60-year-old tale, but he's most famous for prophesizing the collapse of the bridge in Point Pleasant in 1967. He was seen the night prior to the bridge collapsing, and he was blamed for the bridge collapsing because one of the structural supports failed. However, it was then postulated that he was a herald of disaster. So when he was seen, disaster struck. Not that he caused it, but that he was just bringing the knowledge. So one of the horsemen of the apocalypse.
In a way.
Yeah. Not bringing disease, but heralding disease.
Yeah, I was going to say, because if it would lend more credence to the thought of him being it being a giant mutated owl, because in a lot of folklore, owls are the harbingers of knowledge.
Yeah. Now, it is thought that the Mothman was actually an owl that wasn't native to the region. A large owl native, non-native.
10-foot tall owls of Mozambique.
At night, with moon shadows behind, your vision can be impaired.
Oh, yeah, not wrong.
So it's possible. Everything in this one's possible because there's no proof for or against. However, the lack of evidence doesn't lead credence to, nor does it remove the idea of. So if you're not able to prove something, you can't disprove it because you have no proof.
Yeah. You need some form of proof. Something in one way, shape, or form.
Pandas were legend for hundreds of years.
I wish they stayed legend.
Their sex life is legendary.
Really bad.
Yes. But they were thought to be a myth for many, many hundreds of years because no one had ever seen them aside from small town Chinese farmers. And so it thought that they were a myth, that a full grown bear was gentle.
Yeah, that
a black and white gentle bear.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Yeah. Their entire digestion indicates that they're meat eaters, yet they starve to death on bamboo.
Yeah. Secretly, this episode was actually about pandas.
But no, I'm using that as just like lack of evidence doesn't equate something not existing. It could exist. If you can prove that something doesn't exist, then you have evidence of its, that it doesn't exist. Like that you can't, it's like the concept of God. You can't say God doesn't exist because there's no evidence for or against. Mm-hmm. Now, there is more scientific evidence against, but there can't be an absolute proof because it deals in an area where the human mind can't go.
Yeah.
And so I think with a lot of these cryptids, you have to use the same level of both disbelief and skepticism while also keeping an open mind of the possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Mothman, of course, is a Pennsylvania creation or West Virginia creation.
Yeah.
But it's been seen in other places, not specifically just here. But it's thought to be two of the logical explanations for the Mothman is one is it's an owl non-native to the area. Mm-hmm. And the other was a migrating crane, because cranes can get quite large.
Yeah.
And again, we're dealing with the same problem that if you are looking at night, things can appear differently.
Yeah, but I don't know if like a crane or a heron or a large bird like that would explain the patented glowing red eyes that the Mothman has in every sighting.
Well, the only thing I can say to that one on a zoological, I guess you would say, aspect is my dog's eyes at night when the light hits just right glow green.
Oh yeah, and most animals like eyes, if they glow green or like
us, if we get
white.
The wrong flash on a camera, our eyes glow red. So glowing eyes don't make sense for hunting purposes unless the eye on this particular cryptid was an infrared light, because that red can shine quite far. I mean, we know in our office space, we have cameras, and when the night vision turns on, you can clearly see everything in the dead of night.
Oh, yeah. What if Mothman's a hunter, what do you think he eats? What do you think he consumes?
Something of that size, probably small to medium mammals and avians.
He's kept sated on the fears of people traversing on bridges ever since.
Well, it was only the one bridge.
Yeah. But only takes the one.
Yeah. You only get one, Peter. Tell him. No, but if he were to eat anything, and if he were, in fact, a living, breathing animal, we'll go animal. I would say small to medium animals. I mean, large animals wouldn't make any sense for something that size. I mean, we as individuals, unless we're pack hunting during our caveman days, it was smaller animals that we would take out because we couldn't carry the meat far enough and it would go bad before we got to where we were going. And so if they're solitary hunters, it would make sense for smaller prey. And if they're pack hunters, larger prey. Now, North America, being its base of operations, our largest prey are moose, elk, bison,
bears.
Horses and cows and bears.
I just want to see a video of Mothman carrying off like a dairy cow. It'd be insane.
Now, what if Mothman's arch nemesis and primary food source was the Sasquatch?
I think that's a movie I watched one time.
You had to have been really high for that one.
If I watched it, I probably wish I did. I was high. Because Jesus, it doesn't sound like a great movie.
But we will go to Mothman's most famous sighting. This occurred December 15th, 1967. This year will be 65 or 65 years.
Should have waited 4 years for it. 69 years.
The most infamous sighting of Mothman was December 15th, 1967. Locals said they saw a Mothman on top of or flying over the Silver Bridge, which was a suspension bridge over the Ohio River that connected Point Pleasant, West Virginia, to Gallipolis, Ohio.
Yeah.
If you're from there, I'm sorry. I don't know how to say your name, and nobody really cares. You don't have the Mothman.
Or maybe Gallipoli. But
according to Mothman lore, shortly after the creature was spotted on the bridge collapsed, resulting in the death of 46 people. An investigation into the disaster found that a fracture in a suspension cable was the cause. Mothman was allegedly sighted at other disastrous events since the bridge collapse, which people claiming to have seen the creature before earthquakes, tsunamis, and even the 9/11 terrorist attack. This leaves locals and storytellers split on whether Mothman should be considered an evil or benevolent creature. Some say the creature is either bad luck or causing these disasters in some way, but others speculate Mothman may be able to see the future, and the monster appears to warn people of impending doom.
Interesting. I did actually find while doing some research for this, did find a report that in a Georgia newspaper, someone had claimed that Mothman was sighted in Moscow right before the 1999 Russian apartment bombings. Which would be really interesting, honestly, overall.
It was either Mothman or Russian Batman.
Bliet Man.
Now, according to others, there's no way to truly determine what exactly haunted the skies of Point Pleasant in the mid-60s. Again, some people credit the sightings to the migration of sandhill cranes, while others believe that it was a large owl that wasn't native to the area. Sightings have decreased significantly since the 60s, but photos of Mothman-like creatures have been taken through recent history. The most well-known of recent history occurred in 2016, where hunters in Mason County may need to be on the lookout for something other than deer. There had been no significant sightings prior to 2016, aside from, obvious ones we've already talked about. People saying they saw it during the Twin Towers collapse. But a man on a Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening says he was driving along State Route 2, saw something jump from tree to tree. He pulled off the road and snapped a picture of it. He declined to be interviewed on camera, but said that the pictures were not doctored. And in the pictures, the creature appears to have wings with pointed tips and long legs bent at awkward angles. So as cameras have progressed, so have the images that we see, because 1960s cameras, you're going to be using 100 ISO 35 millimeter cameras, or I don't even think you had cartridge cameras back then. So you couldn't just pop that in, but you're still at ISO 100 or 200. And if you're at night, that's not going to work very well on a moving object.
No, it's going to look terrible.
Yeah. And so technology has drastically improved. I mean, you might have had a 16 or an 8 millimeter camera that you could record video on. But again, you're going to have the same problem as the lenses wouldn't be very good.
Yeah.
So you're going to look through Vaseline tinted lenses. I mean, really, without a better descriptor.
Yeah.
It really does not look good.
Remember, clean your lenses, people.
Yes. With microfiber.
And for the love of God, anytime you're going outside and it's nighttime, just practice pulling your phone out and hitting the camera button real quick. I need some good pictures of cryptids.
More Mothman.
Yeah. I love Mothman.
But a resident has spoken to a resident of Point Pleasant, Carolyn Harris, believes the pictures could have been real because there have been other sightings over the years. And she's spoken with enough emergency services, including police and fire, departments that she truly believes that the Mothman does exist, in fact, because so many reports. So it's, I mean, does this creature exist? Can it exist? Is there a world with which this creature exists, Zach?
I mean, I'd hope so, and I think there you could have the biggest like hurdles to dodge would be diet. Like, what would it eat? That'd be the only thing you really would need to answer, because if it's a giant owl or something like that, like a mutated owl, that it'd explain why you only see it at night and some such. It would explain why you see it around like the tops of buildings and in areas that owls normally sit at and stuff like that. Like, I'll say that I hope Mothman exists, because that would just, it'd make me feel so happy.
Well, you do know that there's a movie about the Mothman.
Oh no, I've watched that one, the one with Richard Gere.
Yeah, Mothman Prophecies.
Yeah, it was really weird.
Oh, it's very strange.
It's not like the best movie, but I'll take anything. Well,
it's not essentially a cryptid movie. It's more of a suspense mystery.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It's been years since I watched it.
Yeah,
because it came out in 2001.
I thought it was 2002.
Or it might have been 2002, but it was years. I mean, we're talking minimum 20 years ago. And so many movies have come out that I had forgotten it existed until doing research for this.
Oh yeah, I remember watching it a long, long time ago, back when Crackle was still a streaming service, or if it's
still around.
Oh, okay, yeah. I will say the Mothman Prophecies, like the poster, dope. It's good. It's cool.
It's based off of a book.
Yeah,
that came out in 1975.
Yeah, about a guy doing research on the legend of the Mothman and everything.
Yeah, and the Mothman itself, I mean, it's a fantastic idea, but how many could there be if they exist? So we're gonna go down the path of what if. What if this thing does exist? It is found to be true. How many exist? What is their are they mammals? Are they avian? What are they descended from? What is their diet? What is their habitat? What is their mating rituals? And all of those are going to be determined various lines. Like, we're not even going to worry about where it came from. If it's a mutant, it's a mutant. If it's from another dimension, it's from another dimension.
There's a theory about like all those creatures. Like a majority of the larger cryptids is that the reason why they smell terrible is because they're from an alternate universe, and the smell is like their cells decaying at an accelerated rate and everything.
Yeah. So that's why I said, like, it could be from an alternate dimension, a different universe, and bled over into ours, because that's not outside of the realm of physics that could happen.
Yeah.
So let's digress that we don't care its creation at this moment, but what is its social aspects like? What is is it mammal or is it avian?
I mean,
it's absolutely not reptilian.
Yeah. Mothman Overlord. I'd say it'd have to be avian, because there really isn't larger mammals with wings.
Bats. They're quite large bats. They're not nearly the size of owls.
Well, yeah.
But you do have large bats, and pointed wings could, it would go along that line.
I mean, you're not wrong, but just something in my brain's telling me that I don't think Mothman would be, with the shape it is, it wouldn't be a mutated bat or anything similar like that.
Well, like I said, we're not worrying about its base. It's just mammalian or avian.
I'd say avian, because how large it is and its ability to fly and such would lend me to believe hollow bones, so thus avian. Birdie boy.
Okay. So now that we have avian, we know that we are now dealing with a a clutch animal.
Mm-hmm.
So it will give birth, or it will lay egg, which will be inseminated either internally or externally, depending on the species.
Yeah.
So we know we're not dealing with a standard birth cycle, a mammalian birth cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Or similar to a platypus, it could be a transient species.
Yeah.
Where it still has many avian features while still being mammalian.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the two. So transitioning into mammal or full avian. But either way, we're now looking at eggs.
Yeah.
We're looking at it laying eggs and having a nest, which means we're now looking at either a ground-based nest or a, like in valleys and gullies along the terrain of West Virginia.
Yeah.
Or we're dealing with mountainous nests.
Yeah.
Because a larger bird is not going to use a tree.
No, and it might it might be cave dwelling because you don't generally see Mothman-sized nests in the woods, but
Right.
But you can't be
comes
everywhere
the
in the
mountainous
woods.
region.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you're either going to have, it's not going to be laying directly on the ground. It's not going to have like a Tyrannosaurus nest out in the middle of nowhere where like, come on and find out.
Yeah, you just you imagine you're just walking through the woods and you just find what looks to be a drunken, passed out Mothman just laying on in the dirt.
But because we've gone down this direction now,
Uh-huh.
we can assume it will have a subterranean nest would be the safest for a creature, a nocturnal creature,
Yeah.
to stay out of sight during the day. Or afternoon, I should say, because it has been sighted in the mornings. One of the pictures taken mid-afternoon towards dusk, so it would make sense that it would also be up in the mornings as well. A lot of creature activity at that time, easy pickings.
Yeah, not wrong.
So it would be subterranean or otherwise underground-based nesting. Now we go on to food. Now, considering it's an avian species, I'm not going to think this thing is picking for grubs or berries.
Yeah, it's probably, I think the smallest Mothman might eat would be like a rabbit
Or a possum.
Possum, raccoon.
They're easy catches.
Yeah, just something you can sweep through real quick and you're just good.
Grab it with hind legs, take it back to your nest, feed your offspring.
Or just punch it in the head with your big burly wing arms.
Yeah. Well, if we're talking wing arms, then we're more than likely talking about a mammalian.
Yeah,
Because
you know what I mean.
Yeah. But going down this path, if it's avian, this is probably what we're looking at food-wise, is small to medium mammals, easy catches.
Mm-hmm.
Cats and dogs are definitely going to be at risk.
There was a guy who reported that his dog was stolen by Mothman.
Yeah. Small children could be at risk as well, because they are the right size. We're talking 5 and under.
Yeah, remember everybody, leash your children.
Yes. Remember, spay and neuter your children to keep them from wandering.
Yeah. Helps with the hormonal outbursts.
But smaller children would be at risk.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we're talking about the potential of a 10-foot creature.
Yeah.
It's going to be, because flight for a creature like that, we're probably looking at, and this is why I lead the idea that it's probably a meat eater.
Yeah.
Is because of the caloric intake that it would need in order to fly with wings such as that and a body size of that.
Yeah.
Because even if it were avian bone structure, you're still looking at a 200 to 300 pound creature with full wingspan and everything, whether it has partial or full feathers.
Yeah.
You are still looking at, at the bare minimum, 150 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So keeping that in flight with large wings, you're probably looking at a creature that needs to consume anywhere between 2,000 and 5,000 calories per day. And that's just itself, not considering its offspring. Water source is going to be necessary. large water source, so it's probably not going to be finding little puddles in leaves to survive off of like some birds do. So it's going to be close to a lake or a river. It's going to be necessary for a creature that size. And its hunting grounds is going to be with animals that are going to require that type of water source as well. So that, again, leads to small to medium mammals. Because deer is considered a medium mammal, so is antelope, but antelope not often found in an area with Mothman.
Yeah.
So
watch, we're going to see Mothman heading home tonight. Walk outside. Shh.
You're going to be excited.
Yeah.
You might crash your shoes.
Get a flat sole.
Yeah. But you're looking at that, and we're probably not looking at a creature that regurgitates for its young, like, at least for very long. Because a creature of that size, it's going to lay larger eggs.
Yeah.
And those eggs, in order to stay able, they're going to quickly get their feathers and be moving around. So they will probably be outside of their nest within days, finding animals on the ground. So worms, bugs, smaller creatures to sustain themselves and to learn their hunting techniques. Because if this thing is coming around like they're saying, and we're not even talking about the harbinger side of things, but if it's arriving at any time, you know, it's definitely, I'm going to say it has a, I don't know if sentience is the right term, but definitely a higher intelligence than some creatures. What creatures, I don't know, like, where to put it in.
It's definitely smarter than a koala.
Everything's smarter than a koala.
I think germs are smarter than koalas.
Oh, absolutely. Koalas are dumb.
Yo.
You have to feed them their leaves on the limb. If they're on the plate, they don't know what to do.
Yeah, you take the leaves off and they don't know what it is.
Yeah.
They're also, I think it also doesn't help that they eat leaves from a plant that's incredibly toxic.
Yeah.
These are trees that if it just gets warm enough, they'll just burst into flames. I'm not, look it up. I'm not lying.
Oh, I know you're not. But so we're talking about a nest laying. Now, here is the question. When it comes to rearing the young, you have some avians where the male monitors the eggs, and some where the female does. Which direction do you think this one would go?
I don't know. And I don't know if it honestly would matter all too much.
Societally, it does. I mean, penguins, the males watch the eggs, but they also run the society. They're also very strange in the fact that they pay for sex, which is really interesting.
Yeah, with rocks, not actual money.
That is money. Money is technically just a trinket.
I'll tell that to the bank when I try to pay in plastic earrings.
No, but we have determined what has value. They have determined what has value for them.
I would have thought it would have been like fish. But I don't know. Because there's been Mothman sightings, but not enough.
Not like familial Mothman sightings. Like it's been solo.
Yeah, not multiple Mothman, not enough Mothman to understand which, if there is a like body style difference in a male or a female Mothman, if there is just the one Mothman.
Well, take other predator birds. Let's look at predator avians.
I don't know anything about predator birds.
Like eagles, hawks.
I mean, in like the aspect of what you're talking about. Like I don't know which one.
Typically speaking, in eagles, the female eagle protects the nest.
Okay.
And the male eagle hunts, brings it back, feeds the female feeds the offspring. Typically, because you don't often see eagles together, like flying in packs. It just doesn't happen. And so that
be kind of terrifying if it did.
Oh God, yes. Could you imagine like 10 bald eagles just going, hey, screw that moose in particular. Let's just have fun.
Looks like James and the Giant Peach when they have all the seagulls on the beach and it just starts flying away. You just watch a moose get picked up by like 30 eagles.
It'd be terrifying.
Yeah.
It really would.
Or just watch like 10 peregrine falcons just slam into like a cow.
Yeah.
Which the thing just
So
explodes.
you see them on their own, which is, in the world of predators, there are two types of predator.
Mm-hmm.
You do have your pack hunters and your solo hunters. Lions and wolves are pack hunters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Coyotes tend to be solo hunters, as are most predator avians.
Okay.
And so, with everything we've seen, the Mothman probably would be a solo hunter.
Yeah.
Now, it really doesn't matter if it's male or female who goes out or who stays with the clutch.
Yeah.
Because
it's not like it's going to make the young Mothman
it won't emasculate him.
Yeah, it's not going to decide to become a banker instead because mom was home more.
Yeah. So, and then feeding, again, you're probably looking at a creature that's going to quickly learn to eat on its own and hunt on its own. Because a predator bird has predators. Very few of them don't. Of some sort. Like, I know bears are a predator of certain eagles.
Weird.
Yeah, they'll come down and, they'll go into the water to get something, like to get fish, and a bear will grab them. They're a hunter of opportunity.
Yeah, no, that makes more sense thinking about it like that.
Yeah. Well, like a moose is a prey for a whale.
Yeah, killer whales or orcas. Yeah.
Which
Yeah, just the thought of that. You're like swimming in a river and then a moose just swims by and then an orca grabs it and you're like, never going outside again.
Yeah, I'm terrified now of the water.
Yeah.
Thanks, Willie.
I just want to watch a video of a moose getting taken by one of those.
Right?
Because just moose are the devil.
Oh, they're evil. They are straight evil. There is nothing good in a moose. They are the most predator of the prey.
I don't know. Maybe the meat. I have never had moose before.
Moose meat's good, but they're a straight evil animal.
So the meat's the only good part about a moose?
Yeah.
Okay.
But Mothman, predator avian. A large predator avian with potential human-like mutations.
And a potential love for moose meat.
Maybe
that's the only thing keeping the moose population down. Is just hungry Mothmen.
Or Sasquatch.
I think Sasquatch would ride a moose.
Only if you rode it in a red Canadian Mountie outfit. That comic idea.
Maybe that's where the hat came from.
No, but Mothman to me, after our little winding road, which has been fun to go down.
Yeah, I'm not an animal scientist at all, man. I don't know this.
Yeah, but you've watched National Geographic, and I'm not talking about just for the women naked.
No, I don't even care about that stuff. Animal documentaries are amazing. I want to know more about tiny shrimp.
But you go with just common biology knowledge and looking at it. I mean, yeah, neither of us are zoologists or cryptozoologists. We're just both fans of the concept of cryptids.
Yeah.
The unknown, the outreach, the education. But we're looking at a predator avian, solo hunter, potential harbinger of doom.
Yeah. Or a concerned citizen. When Mothman sees something, he says something.
Yeah, we just don't understand him yet.
Yeah.
Maybe he was on the bridge going, no, go away. This is bad. Waving his wings around, just going, or like a black palm cockatoo trying to mate.
Yeah.
Just standing up on the bridge with a stick in one foot, wings outstretched, screaming with the at the top of his lungs, tapping the bridge with the stick. Actual black palm cockatoo mating ritual. Yeah, it's insane.
That sounds hilarious.
Oh, it is.
Oh, God.
It just stands on a tree stump with a stick in one foot, standing on the other foot, wings outstretched, screeching until a female arrives.
I should try that.
It might work for you.
Yeah, just start screaming.
Someone will feel Sorry for you eventually.
Or scared enough to ask what's going on.
Yeah. Either way, win-win.
Right.
You met someone new.
Yeah. New friend.
But if he's... Now, this is taking into account that he's either a mutant or a path along normal evolution that we just haven't seen.
Yeah.
Now, what if he's extra dimensional?
Then I don't think it matters. None of the taxological things we could theorize about would matter, because Mothman would be potentially coming from a place where none of the rules of our reality work, so it wouldn't matter. Mothman could just be existing off of ambient energy and fear if he is from an alternate dimension.
Yeah, but does he live here, or does he just bleed through and then somehow go back? Does he understand? Does he have a power similar to Nightcrawler, where he can jump from dimension to dimension?
It's just every time Mothman teleports, instead of a cloud of brimstone, it's a German Shepherd disappearing.
Possibly. They just swap places.
Just road snack.
But when he goes back, another Mothman arrives, because the other creature can't ever come back because it goes there and disappears.
Yeah.
Or is eaten.
Yeah.
But so we go down the more fantastical area, the less evolutionary, the less logical. If he's from another dimension, is he intelligent?
It would seem so, unless he is terrifyingly lucky.
Yeah, knowing if in fact he's from another dimension, is coming here as a harbinger, a teller of tales, a prophesizer.
The great prophet of the Mothman religion.
Yeah. And he's coming to warn of impending doom.
He'd have to be intelligent.
He'd have to be sentient.
Or maybe he's just causing the problems.
Or his coming to our dimension does cause it.
No, just not even him coming to the dimension.
Or he does
just,
it on purpose.
Yeah, him himself. He's just got like wire cutters.
Like this is just his fun time.
Yeah. He's taking a vacation to our universe.
I left the kids with the wife, and I went on a walkabout.
Yeah, I'm gonna go wreck a bridge in some alt universe.
Yeah, screw it. Why not?
I got bored. This universe is getting a little tiresome. They don't have any more bridges.
What if Mothman can't speak through vocalization? What if it's similar to Gray's and he speaks through telepathy? But we're too devolved to be able to understand him.
Or too different from what he's normally used to communicating with?
Yeah, maybe his brain works on beta waves and ours on alpha waves.
Yeah, that could be.
Where the parity's just too far apart that they can't connect. And he's frustrated, and the reason he seems to attack is nobody's listening. Like your mom when you wouldn't clean your room as a kid. Just start screaming and throwing stuff. As funny as that is, I mean, it's a good analogy.
Yeah.
You know, you get so frustrated that the other won't listen.
Yeah, so
you take it out on whatever there is.
Yeah, like a bridge in West Virginia.
Yeah. Like, fuck that bridge.
Stupid 8 men won't listen. Time to wreck their stuff.
This is why he needs the apes to rise.
Mothman
they
just
can
needs
understand him.
I was gonna say, get a Mothman a speaking spell.
An etch-a-sketch.
That too, fridge magnets with like words on them. That might work.
Or if he's telepathic, use Christmas lights like they do in Stranger Things.
Yeah, but that's a big piece of like wood and electricity, the power. Having to run that around while you're trying to find Mothman seems inefficient.
Now, what I'd love to see is more photographic evidence.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot.
Just an increase, like the sheer amount of like UFO photos we get and weird things in the sky. I wish there was more of that of Mothman.
But with the lack that we have, it does make more sense if it is a extra dimensional creature.
Yeah, because what's to say if he's from a different dimension, if he just doesn't exist in like he exists in multiple dimensions, so it's hard to capture him on photo.
Or it's hard to even see him. That's why the sightings have been as sporadic as they are. I mean, you see a new Sasquatch sighting at least once a month. Mothman is far more rare.
Every time Mothman's seen, it's because it's a convergence of the worlds or something like that.
Yeah, it could be.
You need that specific
Or
Pluto light.
it could have potentially been a thinning of the dimensional walls post Philadelphia experiment.
I really want to do more research on that. That thing is so interesting.
Oh, it is.
The
It
man
is.
wall.
But the Mothman, fact or
Mothman.
fiction? Unknown.
Yeah.
Interesting. Fascinating. Potentially.
A really good festival.
Yeah, well, the Mothman Festival started in 2002.
Did you know that they have a pancake eating contest?
Yes.
I don't know why Mothman and pancakes.
Because pancakes are good.
Yeah, but like you could do like anything else.
But I like pancakes.
Oh no, I like pancakes too. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Oh, you don't tie them together?
Yeah, no, it doesn't like there's no
Synergy?
segue. There's no good segue from Mothman to pancakes.
What do you want people to eat then? Possum?
Yeah, or try to take flight in a jetpack with a whole cow duct taped to your feet. Be a more appropriate contest.
Well, listeners, you choose for yourself if the Mothman is in fact or fiction, or real, unreal, from this world or from another dimension. We allow you to choose what you believe. Because I know Zach and I want to believe that the Mothman is a real being and has visited many places as the harbinger of doom.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, it's your favorite.
Yeah.
He's your absolute favorite cryptid, and I think he's fascinating.
Yeah. Just the weird lore about him is one of my favorite things. Just that we have no idea if he has any powers, any like living area, nothing. Just big Mothman appeared and was like, hey.
God, he could just be a demon from hell. It's a possibility. You don't know. That's the thing.
That would suck though.
Oh God, it would be a terrible explanation.
Way less cool.
Yeah.
I take you military mutant creature.
That one's actually
demon.
really cool.
I mean, it really makes me feel like next Hills Have Eyes movie. You're just gonna see Mothman as part of the family.
He's the incestuous cousin.
He's the 10-foot tall 2-year-old baby.
Well, tune in next time as Cryptids and Myths researches the Philadelphia experiment.
Oh.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Steve.
And I'm Zach.
And these are your myths, your cryptids, and your everything unknown.